Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with pure soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to sing a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild. The Opperman Report is brought to you by Aquadam.net. You can give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, the insurance companies to deal with, and not to mention all the memories, the precious memories that are lost in the flood. You can never replace those. And Aquadam can be a tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. The cofferdam is filled with water to control water and is reusable as long as it's taken care of. It can protect your home or business from rising floodwaters like a dam, but without the beavers. It can also be used in construction. If you need an area to be dewatered, an Aquadam can do the job. An Aquadam was used at SeaWorld in Orlando for the Mako roller coaster ride during the coaster's construction by dewatering the work area. An Aquadam is now dewatering the work area at San Antonio SeaWorld for their newest roller coaster ride. An Aquadam has been used in many construction projects all around the U.S. and all around the world. Now give Aquadam a call, 707-764-2119. You can look them up online at aquadam.net. You can find them on Facebook at Aquadam Inc. You call them up, you email them, you tell them Ed Opperman sent you, and they're going to take 10% off the price. Aquadam.net, 707-764-2119.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting, either through my website, emailrevealer.com, or you can just email me directly at oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com. If you like our show, be sure and check out our Patreon, the Opperman Report Patreon. We just got a whole bunch of new members over there because of the work we're doing with the Hunter Biden laptop. I got some exclusive reporting on that, on the origin of the second laptop and how it wound up at that computer repair place. If you want to listen to our archives are always free at Spreaker.com. And if you go there, you can find many, many hours of content with my guest today, T.H. Johnson. Mr. Johnson is the investigative team coordinator for OMIG, the Ocean Medical Investigative Group. He's done a remarkable documentary film called Serpents Rising, the O.J. Simpson Conspiracy. When you watch that, you will, without a doubt, conclude that there were two murderers, there were two killers, there were two knives and two killers. And that's because of the prosecution's witness. He also wrote a book called The New Witnesses Reveal the Hidden Truth, The People versus O.J., Simpson, The Real Crime, and Pursuit of Exhibit 35 in the O.J. Simpson murder trial and its hidden secrets. Mr. Johnson, are you there?
I'm here, Ed.
Thank you so much for coming back again. We just did an hour about a week ago, but we started going all over the place, and we really wanted to focus this time on the value of Frederick Whitehurst to the O.J. Simpson case. Why don't we start off? Who's Frederick Whitehurst?
Frederick Whitehurst was formerly a member of the FBI. He was a PhD scientist. He was a top explosive expert with the FBI. In my opinion, he was a man of high principle. And being that he was a man of high principle, that got him in trouble, particularly in an organization that is full of politics, and your career, the rise in your career depends upon politically accommodating others within that system. So because of his concept of being a person that believed in precise ethical conduct, he ultimately had his career virtually destroyed in the FBI because he continued to go to his superiors revealing malfeasant conduct, particularly within the FBI laboratory, which was important because they would do the research and examination of the evidence that was used in criminal cases to convict individuals. And he complained about the unprofessional conduct within the laboratory, the sloppiness at various workstations, and the laxity as it related to xenophobia and racist conduct, the use of racial epithets, nigger, jungle bunny, and all other types of stereotypical epithets, negative epithets applied to various people, African Americans and others. So, in essence, he was one of those agents that said, when I signed up with the FBI, I did not sign up for this. And he expected a particular type of professional conduct that was not taking place. And because it seemed like his protests were falling on deaf ears with his superiors, he began to go outside of the agency to the office of the Inspector General. Every agency of the U.S. government has an office of the Inspector General. And the Inspector General office for the FBI, which is a branch of the United States Department of Justice, is located under the United States Department of Justice. And by the time of the Simpson trial, he had filed well over 100, between 100 and 200 complaints in regard to this conduct. And because he had gone outside of the agency, his career as being a top chemist and top explosive expert had been reduced to him examining paint chips within the paint chip laboratory.
Let me interrupt you for a second here, because I had Dr. Frederick Whitehurst on the show, and this guy's a rock star when it comes to forensic examinations. He worked on TW-800, the Oklahoma City bombing, the first 93, what was that called? Twin Tower bombing, the first one. This impeccable credentials. And we had him on our show, and he told us on the show too about his work in the O.J. Simpson case. But please continue.
Well, yes, and I happened to be going back to examine one of the programs that you had me on previously, and stumbled up on the fact that you had done an interview with him, and I remembered him from years ago, coming into the Simpson case, and then all of a sudden just fading away, just like dust in the air. One week his name was prominent, and the next week he was gone. So when I saw the title of his interview on your site, I said, well, let me listen to this. And I listened to the program, and I was just blown away. I said, man, I got to get in contact with this individual. And I was able to make contact with him at his headquarters down in North Carolina. And our first encounter with each other, we kind of bumped heads a bit. You know, he'd been established and entrenched in terms of, what he believed and battles that he had gone through. But we've been out here in the trenches for 24 years as well, relative to the Simpson case. And so I attacked a particular individual who I believe that was involved with the agency and took the stand and had lied. And it had to do with the shoe prints. And we were able to attain a copy of the to scale shoe print photos that were taken by the actual photographer for the Los Angeles Police Department. And it indicates that the shoe prints that were found at the murder site fit inside 11.5-inch sidewalk tiles. And we had to be certain of that, because we're saying if you have a shoe that is 11.5 inches in length and dimension, that shoe is smaller than my foot. I'm 5'9". Simpson is about 6'1", probably would be 6'3" if it wasn't for the medical problems he had as a kid with rickets that creates a 20-degree bow in his legs. And he's a big individual. His hands will swallow your hands. So it just made no sense to me. You have all these people that would come on the air talking about how humongous, how gigantic his head is. So if you have an individual who you are describing his appendages as being as large as they are, and I had known how large his shoulders, how broad his shoulders were. I had shaken his hand when we had to get the contract signed with him back in '99, and his hand swallowed my hand. How is it he's going to have a midget's foot? But to be certain about what we were seeing, we couldn't say anything at the time. We had to send off to Italy to attain a copy of the shoe soles that supposedly that this agent testified had fit in the sidewalk tiles. We obtained those shoe soles after about a month and paying the tariffs to get them in the United States. We measured the shoe soles. The shoe soles are 12.25 inches in length. We finally were able to measure Simpson's foot, and his foot has stayed the same over a decade period of time. And when we attained the tracing of his foot and overlaid the tracing of his foot on top of that shoe sole, his toes stick out the sides of the shoe soles, his arches ride over the edges of the shoe soles, and his heel would be riding on the back of it. Who in the world would pay $300 for a casual pair of shoes where you'd have to cut a hole in them to have comfort for your toes before you even left the shoe store? So that's where we were. But Fred and I first bumped heads about it because he had said, well, this guy Bodziak, who testified, I always considered him to be a straight-up fellow. I said he lied, period. Now, I didn't know if he and I were ever